loading snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Sin.
Yes, sir.
Jokes.
Yo,
and
yo.
Frosty.
Whoa.
And you are now tuned into the Loading Snacks Movie Club discussion for May for the movie Bright from Netflix. Let's go around the room. Let's get some scores. Bright and early.
He was holding that one in all day.
Absolutely not. You know what I mean? Something that simple. I don't need all day, bro. You know what I mean? It's something off the cup. Sin, what's your score?
Right now I give it a solid 8.
Okay. Jokes.
I'm actually in the same place, an 8.
Okay. Frosty.
I'm trying to think if there was anything that I really didn't like about it to like dock more points off of it. So I'm gonna go with like a 9.
Okay. I'm at like a 7. It could fluctuate, but I'm at like a 7. My early post movie rating is a 7. A non-discussion rating is about a 7. And we'll get into why we are where we are as we discuss. But let's just kind of give, a little bit of information about the movie. So Bright was released in 2017.
Correct.
It was specifically, this was one of the first like feature length films that Netflix did.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing some series, shows, things like that. And
that's right, it was.
This was one of the first like feature length films.
I forgot it was that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember all that, yeah. First big movie Will Smith gonna be in it, a whole big thing at the time. Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So quite a thing. It was directed by David Ayer, who also directed Suicide Squad. So a little bit of Will Smith connection there. And once you know that, you maybe can see it a little bit in the directing style, I think. But so there was a lot, like, I think, riding on this film. I think it was very questionable how the success of a movie like this would be measured. Because you don't have box office numbers to go by to decide, like, oh, this is a hit or this is not. You know what I mean? It's a dud. Or you don't have, oh, well, it didn't do great at the box office, but it sold well streaming or DVD, or you know what I mean, whatever. Like, you don't have that. So really the only thing you have to gauge the success of it is how many views Netflix says it had, like, over the opening weekend, and whether they saw, say, an increase in subscribers or something like that because of it. So it was it's one of those things where they were kind of doing something new and different and trying something out. And so when you think about it, 2017 is 8 years ago, which, again, I'm not sure how that went by that fast, but clearly it did.
Right.
Like, I feel like if you asked anybody how old this movie was or when it came out, I don't think anybody would have said 2017. Like, maybe people would have been like
a couple of years ago.
Right. Yeah. Like, I think at most I could have been like, well, it was before COVID. You know what I mean? And I might have been like, so I might have hit them with like 2019 or something like that. But certainly didn't feel like, it was really older than that. Like
8 years ago.
Right. You're talking a full high school and college education's worth of time having gone by, right? So yeah, I certainly didn't, it didn't feel that way to me. What I will say is that I remember when this came out, we talked about kind of what was going on with the movie in terms of it being a new thing for Netflix or whatever, but I never bothered to watch it. I kind of feel like I remember people being more or less so on it, and I was just like, whatever. It didn't really seem all that interesting to me, and what I will say is that I don't feel like the trailers. I had no idea what I was walking into when I turned this movie on.
Same originally.
Yeah.
I
knew I wanted to watch it, but I was like, because I heard that it was like, I think it's based off of a book or something like that. And I was like, it's fantasy, like that kind of stuff. So it's like right up my alley. So that's like, I really wanted to watch it. I feel like something else came out around that time that had something similar going out, like with a kid.
Maybe that feels right, but
right.
Something else I probably well,
I was like, I gotta watch that too, but it's more horror-y. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like, really, I'm gonna say at the time, like the only major name that was really on it was Will Smith, right? So you have Joel Edgerton who's on it, but like, you can't tell. So like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so it's kind of like resting on Will Smith to kind of carry this through. You know what I mean? At that time, you're, you know, this is pre-slap Will. You know what I'm saying? But I still also think there's maybe a little bit of, does he still have it? And are we revisiting the same thing kind of over and over again? Like, we've seen Will Smith be a police officer. We've seen him do kind of fantasy, even if it was aliens, right? And so, you know, I think there was a lot of question about it. And for me, even watching this, I think part of why I am where I am on it is that it has what I think are just classic Will Smith tropes. Like, it just, this could have been a Men in Black film.
Men in Black. I thought the same thing at one point.
It could have been a Bad Boys film. It could, you know what I mean? Like, it just, it could have been Suicide Squad. Like, it just, you know, like, it hits all of the regular Wills. It could have been Independence Day. Like, it just has, it hits all of the regular Will Smith. This is why we go see movies with Will Smith in them thing. But I think, to me, it felt like it was all of those movies balled into one with a orc fantasy coating over the top of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just kind of like, all right, you know what I mean? That's cool. Let's do fantasy Bad Boys. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't bad. I just was like, kind of predictable for me personally.
At one point, I thought I had watched it and I had just forgotten about it because there's a scene in it that's very reminiscent of Training Day, which I only just watched recently. And so I started like mixing up the two, because it's literally an SUV pulls up to like a warehouse type building and there's a lookout and like this shady, and I was like, did I watch this and forget?
No, this is Bad Boys meets Training Day with a fantasy coding put on it. Like, it's what it is. I feel like for the most part, yeah.
You know, it's
the car.
It's one of those things where, you know, look, it's comedic. There's a comedic take. I don't know if all of the things that are in it that are very tropey are just supposed to be kind of comedic takes. I think to some extent it is, and it's like, you know, your basic LA Hispanic gang / orc are the Hispanic, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's really, again, I give where I'm at right now. We'll kind of get into like what happens in the movie and some of our favorite parts and things like that. But like, I think where I'm at now is that like I do actually have a high appreciation for trying to take that fantasy genre, fairies, elves, orcs, and bring it into the modern day in a way that wasn't Twilight.
Yeah.
Which technically is also modern day. You know what I mean? Like it just, but feels like it's a modern day in a place that doesn't exist. Where this is like, nah,
this LA.
Yeah,
there's no Santos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, there are some straight up GTA moments in this joint. You know, the elves are taking over Beverly Hills, and it's like Elverly Hills or whatever, like whatever you want to call it. I do like really appreciate that, right? And kind of taking a lot of the things that were happening, you know, at the time in current events in terms of like just all that kind of stuff, racism and you know what's happening with the government or whatever, and kind of juxtaposing orcs in this position and elves in this position, and you know, that kind of thing. So I really have a high appreciation for that, and I like that they made an attempt to do something that way and kind of give us the here's what it would be like if 2,000 years ago this really happened and they were here.
Right.
So I kind of dug that. Jokes, watching this, what's your first impression as we kind of, you know, open up and we get all right, wait a minute. I have gripes, so I don't want to like. I got gripity gripes, but Will Smith, Officer Ward, which I also think is kind of a cute play on words because a ward is a type of spell, and his name is Officer Ward. Yeah, like it's a whole. Yeah,
I see you cooking. Okay.
I feel like my man got shot in the face with a shotgun.
I thought it was upper torso.
I know what they said.
Right?
It's a shotgun.
It's a shotgun.
What is it? Is it loaded with buckshots or is it loaded with slugs?
Upper torso includes.
Hey, no. Here's what I want to know. This is what I'm gonna say is they never say they use magic on my man, but bruh.
You got shot.
I was waiting for that. Like I was waiting for that to come up somewhere along the lines where it was like, oh no, they magically scooped my man back. Because whether you're talking about buckshots or full on slugs, dog, it was a point blank. It was point blank.
I know when it starts off and he's getting out of bed and everything, I'm looking for like the scars or something, and I was like, oh, he's smooth still. Like, okay,
he got tattoos on his back. Looking like I don't know what kind of ward or protection spell was already on my man's, but like, and it also like everybody was surprised that he was healed and back to work so soon. You know what I mean? Like it should have been worse than it was. So there's a part of me that feels like
they cutting floor. Yeah, that was on the cutting floor.
There's something else to the idea of him being who he ends up being at the end, because they don't really ever touch on it.
They don't go to it
throughout, and I feel like that is a lost moment. Like maybe they should have leaned into that or done something with that a little bit more. Yeah, I got gripity gripes. We'll cover those gripes as we go on. My first gripe is I was a whole lot of shotgun, and you all know that's like my favorite. That's like my favorite weapon. I'm quite familiar with the kind of destruction. My man just woke up and got out the bed. I swear, I thought it was gonna be a dream. I thought there were all kinds of things going through my head of like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
What's happening here? Some of it, like the wife and kid stuff, didn't quite work for me. I don't know. Jokes, walk me through it. Like, what are you thinking as we kind of go through the opening of the movie and kind of land on where we are and what's happening?
I was okay with it. Like, I do feel like I feel like the wife and child was just inputted into the movie. So as we got further in, there was gonna be like the family is in trouble or something like that. I feel like that element was just added in specifically for that moment, just because we didn't get a lot of background on the wife. We got a little tidbit of information about him being in debt and all this type of stuff, but the opening for me was okay. To me, I was like, okay, it's just being put here, so you guys have this in your head. You know what? There's a wife, there's a child, and somehow they're going to get caught up in the midst of everything that's going on. So I was okay with just the brief moment that we had with them. Little funniness that they had in the middle of it. So I thought it was an okay bridge into what we were getting into.
I kind of liked the relationship that seemed to exist between him and the wife,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's so brief. You know what I mean? That like it and it just never comes back around. That it, I guess it's cool that it's there, but it feels very reminiscent of like him and Will Smith, Vivica Fox, Independence Day.
That was the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get that feeling, but then it just never kind of comes back
I
around.
I agree with both of y'all. That it was kind of, I was watching it, but it did feel kind of throwaway after a while because they'll never come back to anything like you were saying, Jokes. I get that. But the little interactions that they did have, Gage, I was looking more out of it. Like the one thing she says is something like about getting hurt on the job again. Like, make sure you come through the door every night and not come through my like ER doors. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like, I was like, okay, I felt that when she said that. So I get that. You know what I mean? So
100%.
Yeah, I thought that was important, a part of like how they're looking at how that dynamic is going now. That I do wish was more so capitalized on a little bit more, just for character development and stuff like that. But after a while, I'm too wrapped into the world that's going on. I'm trying to follow the world building that they've created with this LA and there's orcs and centaurs but it's like normal. Yeah. You know what I mean? Stuff going on. I was so wrapped up into that stuff going forward. So it didn't bother me. I was saying close.
Telegraphed to an extent, like her having that conversation and being like, I'm more worried about you ending up coming through my ER, like as part of my job. I'm like, oh, all right, clearly my man's going to end up hurt and at her job, you know what I mean, or something, right? Like it felt telegraphed, like, all right, this is where we're going.
That had to have been an option for a final scene or something. It had to be an option or something. And using the bright to bring them back or something like that. Like
something.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like there's stuff that just I feel like is very incomplete. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. When I started this movie and saw the 2-hour runtime, I was like, no.
Yes, sir. Full 2 hours.
To have a full 2 hours and still feel like there's a bunch of stuff on the cutting room floor is kind of like, you know what I mean? What are we doing?
You just disappeared, so we have no idea what you just
said. Yeah, so we do not know what you mean.
We don't know what you mean.
Not at all. Just for it to be 2 hours and have something that feels like it's on the cutting room floor, it's like, I don't know, something's not quite right here. But again, kind of using it to establish like where they live. Him, I don't know, living next to the gangsters and being like, clearly I know y'all are gangbangers or doing something, but
you not do this shit on my lawn?
Whatever.
Trying to sell this house here.
just trying to kill this fairy right quick, y'all. Again, very Men in Black, very like, swinging the broom, trying to kill the fairy, very Men in Black coded, you know what I mean, in that moment. Not bad, just it's cool. I'm not so positive what that establishes beginning between
It's tough.
Ward and this orcish guy. Like I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I don't know if he just doesn't like him. I don't quite get the feeling that he's actually upset with him and thinks that he might have let him get shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't getting that. And then like his daughter is like, you can't talk to him like that. He's a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't talk to him like that. And then they go to drop her off. Yeah. She's like, she's mad at him because mom said he gonna get you killed.
Yeah.
Hey Slim, man, talk to Slim however you want. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just I don't know. I think that the opening of the film, it felt was that his first name?
Yes, I think
Jakoby? No.
Wait,
That's
yeah.
his. That's
Nick.
on his.
It's
back.
Nick Jakoby, yeah.
Nick Jakoby. Yeah.
Correct. You're right. It is Nick Jakoby, which is still 2 first names. But having him show up to pick Ward up, he been around a long time. Like I feel like it's kind of like he's bumbling. I get the whole like I'm a new cop. I don't really know all the ins and outs. I'm kind of green on the street. But I know you don't park on the yard on the lawn.
Right. Yeah.
Right up to the door, bro. Like
just like
right.
Door service.
VIP service.
Yeah.
I come to you.
I feel I was very confused about like what are we establishing, and like in that moment I'm like, oh, okay, he's actually an idiot. Like he's really dumb. Like it's not just like he's a fish out of water or he's just a new cop. Nah, he's Paul Blart. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
something like that. And then it's like not that at all.
Nope.
I'm confused. And then just also listen, I don't know, dog. I feel like did Jakoby go to the police station and get dressed for work and then go pick him up and go back to the police station? Because he most definitely took my man was in like his robe
and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
Think so.
Because he had to go get the police car to pick him up in, because that makes sense too.
Again, I was very confused and struggling to get on board at the beginning of this movie.
The beginning is a little rough.
I think it catches, you know what I'm saying, the tracks at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But the beginning when it was like, yo, you can't drive through here. We can't go through Elf Town.
Well, aren't you the police? Why not?
I'm waiting for something to happen.
Right.
Especially seeing Ward kind of slump down in his seats and everything.
Yeah.
Like, we know, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get it. Like,
I was like, what's going to happen to them in a rich part of the neighborhood? Are they going to stare meanly at them?
Sundown
like,
Town.
That's a sin. That's really what I was thinking of. They would and just get the mean looks from everybody. Like,
yeah,
you don't belong here.
They still the police. Like,
like,
you know what I mean?
Why is it a big deal? Oh no.
Again, they just don't establish it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a part of it that just is kind of like I don't get it. Sin, you have thoughts.
No,
I saw them on your face. Like, just speak your mind, sir.
No, like I agree. Like they're not explaining nothing, but that's one of the things I think I'm enjoying now. Like I want more out of this universe. Like I like what they're putting down and kind of like what they're establishing, but there's so much on the table that isn't being explained to just jump into this new world like that. Where I would like some explanations from, but I guess you're trying to tell story about these two guys, whatever, for 2 hours. Like, there's so much lore you're gonna go into, whatever. But I would like to see more out of this universe.
Yeah.
Sure. I guess I'm just like, if you're gonna say we can't drive through Elf Town, then you should say why we can't drive.
A better
through
explanation.
or show why you can't drive through Elf Town, because they really just like
orcs and humans aren't allowed, but they got badges.
That was a chauffeur, and he was like, "Ugh, I hate it here." Even the chauffeurs are
allowed. Yeah, true. He was.
Yeah, they could have easily just like stopped like a coffee shop or something, and just to have like mean
interaction
people or people, just as like a quick type of something. But no, I get where you're coming from though.
Well, there wasn't even like a we hate the police, or like it wasn't even like a, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just was really.
It was just the one interaction. It was just the one orc. It wasn't like all the elves stopped to like glare at this filthy cop car that was driving through. Like,
yeah, it just was like Paris Hilton walked by as an elf or whatever and just looked, and that was it. They were just too busy to care. And then the next thing you know, they're like at the precinct, and it's like, oh, all right, oh. Okay, okay. I was like, all right, well, maybe something's gonna happen, and they're gonna have to go back to Elf Town. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like they were like planting seeds and kind of telegraphing things that just kind of never come back around. And so I struggled with that a little bit. But like, once we kind of get to the precinct and we get, all right, here's where we're establishing what our highs and lows are, right? Like, you're stuck. This is the first orc police officer ever. We're racist and don't want him here. You don't really want him in your car, but you don't have a choice, so you kind of have to play politics.
That's another thing they don't explain. She says no one wants to be in your car. Like, no one wants to work with you. And there's like, why?
Is he all does
what
like
do he do?
Is he not the first person to get shot? Like, literally, she's like, nobody wants to be in your car.
Yeah.
I can't even take the orc out of your car. Oh, all right. We don't like him. He's not a good cop. He's a bad person. He had
like, everyone in the locker room's like buddies with him, like trying to get him to help. Yeah.
There's a lot that just doesn't quite mesh for me in the beginning of this film, which again is the most, it's the most important part of the film that isn't the end, because it's where you're establishing everything, right? It's like where you're kind of, this is how we're setting up the pins, and it just doesn't feel like it's quite there. But again, we do at least get to establish kind of where the police force is and how they feel about Nick and not wanting him to be on the force at all. Clearly, this is a thing, a humans versus orcs kind of a thing that is an issue from,
thousands.
My ancestors fought orcs in Russia 2,000 years ago, or whatever, like that kind of thing, right? And they get a call, and it's just a random dude who is a human, as far as I can tell, that's just swinging a sword in the middle of the street. And then, and like, they're just letting him. And then they get out and they're like, hey, stop doing that. And he's like, all right. Put the sword down. All right, cool. You got it. What?
The guy he was looking for showed up.
That's what I was like. I think eventually they get to it that he ends up in their car, but it's like,
but does he? Do they get to that? Because like,
yeah, he's like, you're the chosen. He's the chosen, or whatever. Yeah. Like, but it's like, that feels top-outy.
That they're gonna respond. There's no way. Like,
yeah,
and again. Also, one of my problems with this is like human dude speaking in orcish to the orc, You have Ward like, yo, what'd he say to you? And he's like, nothing.
No.
I don't know. He off them dips.
Why are you telling him what he's saying?
Right.
Why are you hiding what he's saying? And here's the thing:
Sketch.
never comes back up again
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the movie.
No, it does.
Never.
I mean, not that guy, but like what he said, it does. But you're talking about the guy doesn't come back.
I know he talks about the prophecy, but I feel like they don't.
Prophecy,
Yeah, but I don't think it's ever said that like this is what that guy said.
Right.
He just says that there's a prophecy, and like maybe we're the prophet.
We're living a prophecy. That's it. There's no like, all right, look, I feel like we need to do this because the dude in the
crazy man in the car vomited on the back seat.
You know what I'm saying, or whatever, right? Like, you're just not. We're not gonna bring that up. We're not gonna talk about that at all. He's a plot device that is used to get the feds chasing them. Like that's so now we know who the feds are. Mm-hmm. Plot device is used. Yeet this dude out of here. We don't need him anymore. Him or I thought something was gonna happen when they picked up the sword. Like I thought Ward was gonna pick up the sword and gonna do something. You know what I mean, or whatever. It's gonna be like you're gonna need this.
King Arthur type
Excalibur, yeah, something like.
They got 12 gauge. He don't need a sword.
Listen, you're right. We could name a shotgun
Excalibur.
Yeah.
Yes. Or Mjolnir, like whatever, dog. Like
either one.
Yeah, we can make it happen. It's just again, like there are pieces. There right now we have puzzle pieces and no edge pieces. Like it's just not it's not coming together. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is for me. And here's the thing. I'm not enjoying myself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I'm intrigued because I'm like, what are we doing? Where are we going? Cool, let's go and let's get there. And then like truthfully, just when I get to a place where I'm like, I don't know, man, I might have had enough, we start shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay.
You know when they're doing add-in up to this point, I was like, visually, I was really enjoying the movie.
Sure.
The whole time. I think you really like the way it's shot, even directed, some of the angles and some of the scenes. I like how they did the lighting, especially when it came to the bright, like how it's literally super bright like that. Done with everything. Like I really appreciated the visuals in this movie overall.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It helps. You know what I mean? Like it helps. Mm-hmm. When they walked into that, I'm gonna call it a crack house. Because in any other movie it would have been a crack house.
Yeah, so call it what it is, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call it a crack house. They're pulling up. We got a spotter on the steps. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You saw that? Yep, that's a spotter. And then we just
you see Training Day
no more. And because I'm gonna tell you what,
you break up at the worst moments. He goes and silent,
and another thing,
silent.
One more thing I want to touch on: silence.
The art of it. I do it in the window is a terrible shot.
Yes.
No way. There's no way. There's no way. Sin. There's
not even close. Way. Not even close. I wouldn't have missed that shot.
You had him off guard, unexpected. Like at least one should have taken a shot, even if it was, to the arm or whatever. Somebody should have ate a bullet.
I don't know, dog. It was just like
that was a new guy.
Wait for the reload. It felt like playing a game with jokes and just being like, all right, jokes, wait till they reload, then we'll shoot.
Bug out. No, damn it, jokes.
Wait, jokes. Jokes, I got it. No. Wait for the reload. And then they literally they're not even aiming, they're just firing.
They're just shooting.
They're just firing. And
that's all you gotta do.
My man just
put the direction.
Lucky shot through the
like 3 clips worth.
Listen, not only can he not shoot, he also can't duck. Slim is trash. Like I don't. But whatever. Like, all right, we go in. Once we get inside the crack house, the bomb house, the like flamed out people. I'm like, oh, okay, Now we're getting somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, all right, let's go. Right? Listen, Diablo angel wings in the wall.
That was so sick.
That was.
Let's go. She looked like plastic.
Yeah.
It might have been plastic at some point.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like just now we're really like, this is the part where truthfully, visually, I'm like, okay.
That was the first big one, yeah.
I'm all right, I'm in, right? Somebody in here is doing something they don't have no business doing.
That looks painful.
Let's
you don't know, like it's almost hard to tell what exactly is happening. Is she is she the one powering things up, or is she like getting murdered? I was like, what is happening? Like,
it seemed like
up to your interpretation.
Investigation here.
Right.
Yeah. That's when it really starts to like, it truly does like start to pick up. And I'm like, all right, cool. Now it's a chase. Now it's a getaway film. Now it's like, all right, we have a package. There's a package in play. Now I'm bought in. We have a wand in play. We have a person who supposedly can't speak the language in play. Let's go to it. And for real, by the time we get out, I'm all in. By the time we get outside and we're standing,
I can tell you right now, me and Gage would have smoked that quest in the game. I'm just saying.
What? Hey, bro.
Hey, well, Jakoby dropping the wand everywhere. I'm like, bro, there's no way in the world this is gonna happen, dog.
I'd have smoked Jakoby.
I'm dropping the damn wand.
Friendly fire. I don't care.
Yeah, we don't need Slim. Yeah. Yeah, it's no way. Once we get out, we're at the car, and here come my man Poison in the wheelchair.
If you don't get your roly poly,
listen,
don't play with me tonight.
I'm here for every bit of it. Like, what's up? Ain't no wand.
Trash.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
yep.
Hey, look, dog. Look, listen. Just go ahead. Let me get the wand. Nah, ain't no wand. Hey, Jakoby, get in the car.
All y'all just turn around and go home.
Block.
Go the fuck home.
Then when he get in the car, he got to tell Jakoby again to drive off.
Hey, listen. Put the windows up. It's bulletproof.
Yeah.
Don't drive sideways.
Hey, jokes. If Gage not said that exact thing probably to us so many times, it's great that we're in the car. Just stay in the car. It's bulletproof.
Just stay in the car, dog. What are you doing, dog? Hey, no, I will tell you what. I have told somebody, I have been in this. Hey, just get in the car. You get in the car, and I got this. We gotta. That was like, okay, and now we're here, and we have pursuers. Like now we got multiple folks pursuing us.
So one of them nights. Yep.
Cool. We're on their turf. There's nowhere safe to go. We got to find somewhere safe. And let me tell you something. When they left the lock outside, I immediately was like, that's gonna be bad. That's gonna be bad. That's not good. But let's stop and take a breather. Let's try to figure out what's going on. And yeah, what were the Inferni? All right, I have some issues. I have issues only because we watched them clear an entire SWAT brigade like it was.
They beasts.
They put them down.
They went up in the strip club like it was like
massacring everybody.
Like it was nothing. And then they got held off in the convenience store by two dudes. And I was like,
hey, it was different. They ran to us at the time. It wasn't no regular NPCs they ran into at that time. They ran to us.
What the difference is, Sin? We wouldn't have been there. Because I'm going to tell you right now. Hey, bro, I'm going to tell you right now. When he called my man and Slim came up and was like, put the handcuffs on, I'd have smoked Slim.
Oh, at that point.
If me and you were let's leave jokes out of this for a minute.
Fair enough. Let's talk about
Let's leave jokes out of this for a minute.
Okay.
It's me, you, and Frosty.
Got it.
Right? Coop pulls up.
Oh, we dead.
And it's like,
we gotta get a new getaway car. It's that easy.
I can't trust nobody. I heard there's a wand. Your man got to put some cuffs on. All right, go ahead and put the cuffs on. Soon as he put his hands behind his back to reach for them cuffs, brains, bro. I'm smoking Slim.
Khadijah.
That used to be my man's and them. I don't have time for that. We're leaving. You know what I'm saying? And we have a new ride. Let's go.
Yes, we are taking this car and getting low.
Let's go. We would have been gone. So there would have been no fight in the convenience stores then.
No, I swear we need to run some Grand Theft Auto right now so bad.
I'm down. Yeah, but look, let's show off a little bit more what the Infernity can do. Let's give them some time. Like, don't let my man out of the car.
As much as I love the Infernity, the one thing I wanted from them so bad that I didn't get, I needed a villain monologue from them at some point. In unison.
They was about the business.
I was torn between I'm liking the quietness of them killing people and not saying anything, but I want some type of just badass villain monologue from y'all right now. Whether you're done killing people or something, that's the only thing I was missing from them that I really wanted.
No. I feel like they went through it already, Sam. I feel like they probably did a monologue sometime. Someone got what, hey, Lex, we ain't never doing that again. We're gonna go ahead and get business done, and we're gonna keep it moving.
There you go.
I miss that so bad. So bad. But
that's different.
Joke said I wasn't prepared for that one.
Countdown. A very good countdown.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, you know, you're probably right, Sam. Like, we could have got some more from the Infernity. I don't think they did a great job of like
really highlighting them and like who they are and what they're about, like just lore, story background, stuff like that. Like, was just missing from it all. But the look and vibe of them, I was definitely messing with heavy.
You just knew they were fly.
Yeah.
And they could do something. I'll be honest. I was waiting for the elf that was the Fed to like go off.
Yeah.
I wanted him to get in the middle of something and like, like, nah, I got, you know, because really we get the story from him, like him doing the interrogation of my man with the sword, who I feel like was a giant, but okay. Listen, I'm just saying. He seemed like a dude. You know what I mean?
Back to that scene. Let me look at him.
Also, I need to run back for a second. Internal Affairs shows up. You're gonna give us your man. We getting rid of this orc. You're gonna give him to us. You're gonna get him to confess. Blah blah blah. Threaten his wife and kids. Blah blah. You know, whatever. Excuse me. He tries to get him to confess.
I can see Giant.
Yeah, he looked like a
look at that. Yeah, I can see that being the real life, quote unquote, LA version. You know what I mean of it. Okay.
Yeah, because he was swinging that sword like it was nothing.
Nothing.
Picked that joint up. He was dragging that joint behind him like. So Ward has the recorder on him that was given to him by Internal Affairs to record Jakoby admitting that he
set him up to get shot.
Yeah, he set him up.
Not that he just let him go.
Or that he let the guy go.
Or one or the other,
right? So I thought, all right, when they got down to it and they had the wand and they had the girl and the other officer showed up and they started threatening like, hey, here's what it is. You're going to go kill him or we're going to kill both of y'all or whatever. I'm like, he got the recorder in his pocket. We're good. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to do what he has to do. It's all recorded. And yeah, he's going to have to kill them all. But when it comes down to it at the end,
got that evidence.
He's going to be clear because he's going to have evidence that they were threatening him so that they could take the wand for themselves.
Smoked all them dudes.
He never comes back. Also, tell me why he has so many powers. Why can he turn around and just smoke all four of them like
headshots?
He was like, listen, Tell me from your left to your right.
He was
Who is
using,
what
he was
order
using
they
Dead
is
Eye.
in?
He was using Dead Eye from Red Dead Redemption.
You went straight Red Dead on the joint.
Yeah.
But he's like firing multiple times at them. Like I think he empties like
Oh yeah,
He
more
definitely
than
is.
one
back
clip.
Yeah.
And then they're shooting back at him though, and not one of them hits him.
They're all garbage.
Mm-hmm.
All
Trash.
garbage.
Bad cop.
Exactly, Kitty. All garbage.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I just like, give me lore. Like, even at the very end, when they're in the hospital, he's like, yo, I never seen anything like it. He turned around and he smoked everybody. And like, hey, dog, shut up right now. You're not really supposed to be telling that.
Right, like, no, that's a story that lives and dies with us. Like, just
Right.
Yeah.
Still, can we lean a little bit into, oh yeah, he happens to be chosen. He can do some things other people can't. That explains why he was able to heal.
Why his name is Ward, whatever. Yeah. However they want to take it, yeah.
Just give me something, bro. Like, there's so many open-ended questions, unanswered pieces of not just lore in terms of the world, but like lore directly dealing with the characters that are your main characters. That is why, like, for me, even though, like, again, the film is enjoyable. I had a good time. I think it's cool. I like the way it wraps up for the most part, but like, there's a lot of things that are just like not quite sinking. You know what I mean? For me. And so it's hard for me to just be like, oh yeah, this is. It would actually be hard for me I feel like, to recommend this to someone. If I'm like, oh, you love fantasy, this is a really cool take. And it is a cool take on fantasy in today's world. That again also might leave you wanting more, which I thought they were supposed to be doing a second one of these.
It was, and I think after the slap, I feel like I think they pulled the plug on it.
I do think they need to revisit this world, whether it's movies, TV shows, games. I think this is a world that has enough there to be explored upon.
I agree.
Realistically, they don't need Will Smith for this. They could do something based.
They do another one based in New York City and like see how that setup is out
the
there.
Bright, like the whole Bright thing, like the wands. I feel like that can be expanded way more, even without.
You can go worldwide with it, easy.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I think I feel like they kind of closed it by I feel like they said there were only like 3, I guess, of the elves who were supposed to be able to touch, but then also, am I mistaken? The dude with the sword was like he had the bright tattoo or whatever.
He was Shield of Light or something like that. Yeah. They're like, I think they don't really explain it, but they're essentially just like a cult.
They consider themselves maybe the protectors of the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was a bright or anything, but and that's another, like, they don't explain this group.
Yeah.
How do they have a crack house with a healing tree at the bottom of it?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, they get strung out and then they go heal themselves and do it all over.
That might be the best place to get strung out at, Jokes. Get strung out, go downstairs, take a bath, get healed.
Hey, listen, they pulled the Kenny off South Park. It's like, oh, he died. Toss him in. Come back to life.
I mean, it's very Batman racial.
Ra's al Ghul, yeah, 100%, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Just go into the healing water.
Pit.
All right. They don't explain what happened to her. Why, after she used the wand and saved his life, why does she have the gook?
She's starting to turn like veiny black, and her eyes go dark. And
black. Like, what's happening? What are we doing? We're just not going to talk about that. We're not gonna. Again, just a lot of things that are just like, oh no, this is just. I feel like they could have done it, but there's a part of, based on the way that the world is set up, a lot of the stuff that is not normal for us is normal for them. Like, I do feel like there is a better way to kind of tell the story or present it, where like
we should already be in the know of some things.
Yeah, like they maybe know. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
doesn't necessarily
yeah.
have to be that like we know, but like I'd feel better if at least they knew and it was, you know what I mean? And there was something like it could have been a single line where just like, you know, once a so-and-so uses a wand to do something like that, it eats away at their life. She had to give her life to bring him
To
back or
use it,
something.
yeah.
Something on there.
Just say, you know what I mean? Just say it. Just say it. A single line. You know what I mean? Could have just been like, you know, and she could have done it because all of a sudden she starts speaking English. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, well now I know I can trust y'all because y'all got whooped by, you know what I'm saying, by these people, and y'all ain't giving me up. So like now I can go ahead and speak English to y'all. You probably could have saved a lot of trouble if you
I
just
want
spoke
to punch
English
you right now, but okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like if at that point she just said, and you know, for me to use the wand to save you, I had to give up my life for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, there's got to be something we can do. The only way that I can be saved is you take me to the tree pool. You know what I'm saying? Like, take me to the tree pool. Done. So easy. You know what I mean? But like, she got the ick, and so I want to take her to a hospital. Well, we're not going to take her to a hospital. We can't take her to a hospital. We got to go back where we started. Well, I'm not going back where we started. Well, why not? Because there shouldn't be anybody there. It should be fine. We left there a long time ago. And I don't know why when they got back, these dudes was in that joint waiting for him, hiding under a table. Listen, when you can do the things that these Inferni Bams can do, why are you hiding under a table?
You just murk and take whatever you want. Like you clearly are like you're one step ahead of them this whole entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I feel like hey, listen, they should have been put down early on in the movie.
I love that Will Smith like holds off the lead Inferni, like just he's a human.
Just
Ward. It's in the name. That battle was meant for him.
No, like they marched through it. They marched through SWAT, all 12, 15 probably of them. But Ward, if you're gonna do that, just because his name is Ward, you
weren't gonna get the Ward like that, nah.
He can just throw hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, dog.
Built him over years of box office, you know, bangers.
Hey, why did she come back to life?
I don't know. Something that didn't explain to us like the rest of the movie.
She got zapped with the wand first.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I feel like maybe that was the wrong technique that was used.
Yeah, like maybe she had like a protection spell that would have been. But yeah, again, this is all speculation, not explained.
Reincarnation. That's that one use spell. Like it's in place, and then once it gets used, that's it.
If you were going for the wand, great shot. However, shoot her in the head, bro. And now you can't. All right. And I'm also very confused about the lesbian sister relationship between Tika and the Inferni chick at the end. Because it got like in the pool water.
Oh no, they was about to have a whole makeout session. It seemed like
oh, okay, yeah, we're former lovers, but then she's like, sister.
Come again?
All right.
That's something in elven lore that they didn't explain to us that we're not going to know until they decide to open up that door.
I don't think we would ever, even if they made. Like I haven't put my finger on, like, obviously, you know, when Netflix decided to make that switch to doing the movie, if maybe this was designed, it was supposed to be a show first, and then maybe that could explain why some of the things like, hey, listen, we got to take 7 episodes now and crunch it down into 2 hours. That could explain why some of that stuff, a lot of that stuff got just left out there for interpretation. Or if from the beginning the plan was like, listen, we're gonna do the second one, and we're gonna go back and we're gonna explain a lot of the stuff in the second one that's gonna make sense. I don't know.
I don't think they did a good job of like. At no point does it seem like she is chasing her down to try to get her to come back to being on the other side of being with the Dark Lord or whatever. Like just come back. Like you know how to do this. We're good. Like, just come back. And she's like, nah, I can't do it. Like, it just seems like she wants the wand so she can bring the Dark Lord back, and that's it. And then all of a sudden, we're in this very different place of like, but no, I really need you. I miss you. I love you. Come back. What? Huh? What? What? And then Ward. Okay, also, I know she has two hands, and maybe one of those hands is messed up, but I'm gonna tell you something. She yoinked that wand from across the room with her magic skills so easy. Why didn't she do that the first time they were near the wand? And at the end of the movie, the wand is laying on the floor. He can barely crawl to the wand. She could just magically
force pull that jump.
Force pull the wand,
shaking her bloodlust meter up
like she did like 10 minutes ago. I don't understand.
We forget our move sets.
He grabs it, and I guess when a bright grabs it for the first time, it turns orange. Then she feeds him the words, and he says the words. And while she's feeding him the words, the sister does nothing. She doesn't try to stop him. She doesn't fly across the room. She doesn't splash some pool water in his face. Nothing.
She didn't think he could do anything.
She's like, no. Well, look, sure. Until he picked the joint up and nothing happened, and then they had a whole conversation.
And once he picked it up, she should have put him down.
What do I do?
Once he picked it up, she should have put him down, because it's just like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. Let's end this right now.
Yoink it out of his hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. I have issues. I had a good time though. I had a good time. Everybody still have the same scores?
Yeah, I'm still where I'm at. I still, like you said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think a lot of those small I feel like they're supposed to get addressed later on, but we'll never get that at this point. But I'm still.
You're at an 8. You're at an 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you would recommend this film to other people?
Yeah, I think it's a good watch. I still think it's a good watch. It's at least to the point where it is contained, so it's not like you got to worry about like this is a one-off for all that. You go in, you watch it, and that's kind of it. I do think it's worth the watch.
Okay, Sam, you in the same spot?
No, actually, weird enough, I'm at an 8.5.
Okay.
Like I did really enjoy the movie. I love the world building and all that kind of stuff a lot. And just in there discussing it with y'all, like I do agree. I have issues with the lore stuff. Like I want to know so much more about what is happening, what's going on in this world. But I think that's one of the reasons why I like it more, because I don't have those answers yet, and I can see Netflix hopefully one day diving into this story and maybe making it a franchise of some sort, or somebody come along, taking it to make a franchise and build on those things we have issues on. So I just like the speculation and just wondering what that could be and stuff like that with it. So yeah.
So you're good with it if somebody comes along and does all of that?
No, I'm good with it as is. Like just for thought and speculation purposes, but I'm just good with it as is. Yeah.
Okay. Frosty, still at a 9?
No, I forgot about all the like missing stuff. So I'm not gonna dock it too much. I would go down to an 8 with it, because I still really enjoyed it, and I would still recommend it with a disclaimer, like there's a lot of open,
you're gonna want
unanswered questions, but it's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think that the comedy is pretty solid. Is solid. I think that the directing, the direction, the cinematography, I think that the score, the music, like I think everything is. I think that the world building that like you're talking about, Sin, has nothing to do with the storytelling. I think it all has to do with the way that it all looks. Like it looks like the world itself looks lived in the sense like it's LA, so of course it's LA was lived in, but it looks like orcs have lived there forever.
Yeah,
and it
like
looks
is there graffiti and all that type of stuff? Yeah.
Right. Like I think they did a really good job of kind of like
I would love an origin story of how all that came together. Like the humans and that world combined together. I would love to have an origin story about that.
Maybe Netflix will announce it at their little announcement thing they're going to do like in, I think it's like in a week or so.
No.
Doubt it.
Why would they do that? Because we decided to watch an 8-year-old movie.
Hey, who knows?
That's happening in 2 weeks and we just happen to be talking about it now. They might bring it up. Like,
hey, who knows?
When you swing for the fences, bruh, you trying to take the entire fence at the fence and not like over the joint. Yeah, like I think that where they succeeded in doing the world building is the physical look and feel of it all. I think they fail almost miserably in the telling of the story because you just miss so much. Like there are so many unanswered. It's not like unanswered questions about Ward. Like it's definitely left open so they could do like a part 2 and kind of give you more, like the two of them. We got this whole buddy cop thing going on. Let's do another one. So it's clearly left open-ended in that way. But
one of the first things I was thinking, I just remember watching this when I was watching Ward and Jakoby just interact. I was like, we need Star-Lord and Drax to do this in the show.
I mean, it's kind of right. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what it is.
Yeah. I was like, that could be pretty entertaining.
Yeah. I think I'm still sitting at a 7. I don't know that I would tell somebody to spend 2 hours on this personally. I will tell you that I feel like I could recommend so many other things that people could spend 2 hours watching that I feel like they would get more fulfillment out of. So like I would have to my caveat would be like, if you got 2 hours to like throw away, like if you're doing something else, working around the house or doing something else, like this is cool to put on and enjoy. But I'll be honest with you, I probably would never watch this again. I'm cool with it where it is. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. I probably wouldn't put it back on and just be like, you know what? I feel like watching some Bright. I don't think I'm there, unfortunately. But again, it's not like, I don't think it's like a 5, you know what I mean? Or something like that. I think a solid 7 is good. Like it's good. Anybody else have any closing or final thoughts on the film, the actors, the director? Nope. Everybody's good. Excellent. Well, then thank y'all for jumping in and doing this with us. This has been your May movie of the month, which was Bright from Netflix, all the way back from 2017. I don't even know how that happened. Way back, bro.
Back in the time.
Do you remember what you was doing in 2017? Oh, me neither. Me neither. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We're out. Toodles and loose.
Loading snacks.